Nicole, welcome back to Cat on the Loose.
Thanks for having me again.
I know it's been a minute. I
Mhm.
missed you.
No, no.
So much been going on, so many questions, so little time. So, are you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Okay, great. For those of you guys who don't know Nicole, by the way, let me mention really quickly. Nicole is a fixture on Kind of the Loose. We love her. She is a celebrity love coach. She's a relationships expert. And you are a mom and a wife. You've been married for a long time. So if anybody knows how to dissect the world of dating and relationships, it's you. So let's go. I want to ask you, and I think I mentioned that to you. We started doing some short movies on YouTube. They're based on real stories that actually happened to me and my girlfriends in the world of dating and relationships. And we are getting tons of feedback, dozens and dozens and dozens of questions a week regarding these behaviors. A lot of people agree, a lot of people don't disagree. So if you're game, I want to ask you a bunch of questions about that, like people behaving badly. In my eyes, I think they're behaving badly in the world of dating and relationships, and you tell us your expert opinion. Okay?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. So the first one I want to ask about, like, to me, this is a no-go, but I got a lot of backlash, like they think I'm exaggerating. What is your opinion? Like you go on a first date with a person, and at the end of the date, the guy comes to give you a kiss. And I know a lot of girls go for it, but for me, I normally, for personal reasons, I'm not ready to kiss on a first date. But at this one instance, the guy was super pushy and he got like offended and rude. He was like,
Mm.
"Oh, I paid for brunch. The least you could do is give me a kiss."
Ew.
So it's kind of like a several part question. I know. First question is it to be expected? Like you had a great meal, you like the person. Are they always or almost always expecting that you're gonna do a kiss on a first date? And the second question is if the guy gets offended or like if they think they're expecting it because they pay for the meal, that's a no-go. Do you agree?
Yeah. Okay, so I do think that in general, okay, if you guys are having like a totally amazing connection on the date and you're both feeling it, I think that it's expected that they're at least going to go for the kiss. Because if you flip it, like if there's a woman and she's like, the connection is great and he didn't kiss me, she's going to be freaking out. Like, does he like me? So I think in general, especially nowadays, like most people would expect if the connection is good, there is a kiss on the first date. Now, with that being said, uh, hoping it happens is really different than like it has to happen. If somebody's making you feel pressured and they're in this like tit for tat, like please leave immediately because they're always going to be thinking like I gave you this so you have to give me this. Like that shows he doesn't have natural generosity. He's doing it basically to get you to sleep with him, right? And like no,
Yeah.
run from that as fast as possible. But also like here's the thing, if you say no to a guy and you sometimes you want to do that because you want to test how that person is going to react. So that moment
Mm.
showed that that person has a bad attitude, right? So
Yeah.
like there is a moment where you can play with, I'm going to purposely say no because I need to see
Hmm.
what he's going to do in that moment, you know?
Yeah, yeah. But I also think, and I get it, like if you have chemistry and I go for the kiss, but I think just because somebody pays for a nice meal, it doesn't mean you owe them anything, correct? If you want to kiss, you kiss, but if you don't, the guy should just be like, okay, and respect you,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, like, okay, so on the one hand, like I can understand with men, like, but it's usually cheap men that don't, the cheap men are counting the cost of the date. So like that's also a red flag right there. But like
Yeah.
women have to spend a lot of time getting ready. They have to do a lot of things. They're getting a bikini wax, they're doing their makeup, they're doing their hair, they're dieting that whole freaking week before the date, right? Like there's so many things that women have to do ahead of time to even get to that date. So I understand like guys maybe don't want to shell out hundreds of dollars every single night, but men have to understand that is what you have to do if you care about having a date or having a girlfriend. It's just part of the program. And I honestly think men need to take that into account when they're
Yeah.
dating. Like they should be thinking, this is how much I have to spend on dating because
Yeah,
why should
totally.
women have to pay? They pay for everything else and they also pay an emotional labor a lot of the time.
Oh my God. No, I'm happy you said that because I always mention and I do posts about it on social media. Guys that say, oh, we pay for dinner and lunch, it's so expensive. They have no idea how expensive it is to be a woman and how much money we spend just to show up looking great on these dates.
Exactly, because most women do not look naturally. I mean, there is natural beauty out there, but even the ones who have natural beauty, they've done their
Yeah.
eyebrows, they've done
Oh,
eyelashes.
yeah.
Everybody in LA has fillers somewhere in their body, and that stuff adds up. Even just to, like, the discipline of going to the gym, like, it's all
Yeah.
this time that women are spending. Women are spending so much time to be attractive. Men have to just show up and pay. Like, the bar is really not that high for them.
Guys, I hope you're listening to the expert. Now, moving on because there's so much I want to cover. This one is let's switch because I want to be fair with the guys. Lately, I hear this complaint from a lot of my guy friends, okay? They start dating a girl, and I'm saying keyword start. They go on like 1, 2, 3 dates, 4 dates, and these women are already making like blunt demands. For example, a friend of mine, one of my besties, is dating this girl. They went on like 4 dates, and she was like, oh, you're not really meeting my needs, quote unquote. You're not giving me anything. Basically, she was saying the dates that you pay for are not good enough. Like, I want a gift. I want you to pay for shit. I think this is something that comes organically as the relationship progresses. And I'm gonna say, and I'm a woman, but I think that's a huge no-no. I think girls need to stop doing that. Like, meet a guy, start asking for crap right
Yeah.
away. Do you agree, Nicole?
Okay, so you have to look at how much emotional buy-in he has, or I call it emotional leverage, okay? If he doesn't have that high amount of positive feelings towards you yet, and you ask him for things, he's going to be like, no. It's like if a stranger asked you to give them $100, like, you'd probably be like, no. Versus if your best friend did, you'd probably be like, of course, because you have like an emotional connection. So for women, it's not that necessarily, oh, wanting a man to give you gifts is wrong, right? But you are putting it too far in the equation before his emotional feelings. The more he actually really likes you and cares for you, you could start asking for more and more and more. But if you're not paying attention to how he acts, if you think like every guy should just treat you this way, because I would ask you to look at, is how you're acting on your side of the street going to make him emotionally open enough that he even wants to do those things in the first place? Because if not, then it's a demand, right? Versus this is just what I want, and I feel like I've shown up enough to receive that. And I don't think a lot of women are doing that because they're just like, here's what can I get? What can I get? You have to do all this for me, but he has to feel open to you first.
And I think, at least in my case, if the guy likes you and you guys go on a bunch of dates and you decide to date, these things should come from the guy. We don't even have to ask, right? Like, the guy's gonna bring you flowers, candy, whatever it is, organically because he likes you.
Yeah. And it's way better if you don't have to ask, right? If you're pushing for him, no one likes to be pushed and prodded and demanded. So again, I would ask women, like, are you actually sure you're showing up on your side of the street where this guy's thinking, wow, she's different, she's amazing, she makes me feel great? Or is he just like, wasn't really that great, the connection wasn't really that great, like, she's okay? Not that you are that way, but a lot of women aren't paying attention to how they show up on their side of the street.
Yeah, I think that's just too pushy, which leads me to my next question. A few weeks ago, I was hanging out with a bunch of guy friends at I'm sure you know, it's a super fancy place in Beverly Hills, Avra, right? Great bar scene, la 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 la. And one of my friends invited this lady that he knows from work, and I'm not even gonna say where she's from, but she's like super boy aggressive. Like, she sees men as targets. For example, like, I want to meet a guy and within a year I want him to marry me. And like, the guys were walking by at the restaurant, the bar, she literally goes to them. Like, hey, hi, how are you? Are you here with a date or are you here alone? Just very aggressive behavior. And all my guy friends that were there told me, every single one of them said, this is such a big turnoff. We are not interested in a girl that is so aggressive, that approaches and wants this, and hey, give me a drink, give me champagne, give me this, give me that. Are you free? Are you available? Every single one of them, no exception, said this is a little much. Like, back off and let the guys do the hunting. Do you agree with this approach, or do you think she's totally
Absolutely.
fine?
Absolutely. I mean, it would have been better if she just sat at the bar, like really open posture, waiting for somebody to come up to her, especially if she's like, you know, beautiful. Like people are going to come up to her and they're going to talk to her. But the issue is, it sounds like she doesn't really want the person. She just wants the title of being like somebody's wife. I mean,
Yeah.
don't wait around forever for somebody to marry you. But if you have this deadline, you're not caring about that person. Like you're just trying to
No.
fill a space, and men can feel that. And the thing is, like, you know, men also want to feel special. Like they want to feel like you care about them in particular, not just you want to get stuff from them. So it's not surprising that her tactics are not working. She should let them come to her. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think men don't want to feel like they're a target, right? Like the women see them as an ATM machine. Like, hi, I want to
Mhm.
meet you, and here, just pay all my bills.
Yeah, yeah. Even the gold digger women, like the ones that do it successfully, like the ones that are actual gold diggers, but they're making the guy feel special. They're making him feel like there's no one else like you. Like that's why they have that position. Like that they've succeeded. I'm not saying it's right, but like they know how to play the game, because you have to make that man feel uniquely special. And the guys who have the
Yeah.
money, they don't want you to want them for the money. They want you to want them for the other qualities that they have.
Yes, 1,000,000%. Now there's a trend going on social media. I don't know if you noticed or if you've seen it. A lot of girls, they use this term like, I want a provider, quote
Mm-hmm.
unquote. But what they really mean is, I want a guy that's going to pay all my bills. I
Yeah.
see a lot of girls on TikTok posting that, oh, I don't have to do anything all day. My boyfriend is a provider. I want a provider. I want a provider. And I think they're using this as an excuse to literally go after men to do nothing with their lives.
Mhm.
As an expert, because I'm not an expert, I always think this is a horrible idea. I think the more you have going on in your life, better are your chances of attracting an equal partner. I don't think you should see men as providers, even if they end up being a provider. Of course, a lot of people are going to say, oh, but what if I want to have kids and stay at home mom, blah, blah. But no, I mean, like these girls that literally decide they want to do nothing, they want to find a guy to provide for them. What is your opinion as an expert?
Okay, so I've seen those videos too, right? Where it's like, I'm just a stay-at-home nothing, and like, but you're not seeing like how he's controlling her. You're not seeing what's behind the scenes. Remember, like it is social media. Very
Yeah.
few people, very few men will just give money without some sort of control. I'm not saying there are not generous men out there, but very few will give without constraints, right? So first of all, if you are going to try and find a provider man, you got to be clear about what you're looking for, because if it's just he has money, a lot of times, like look at Christine Quinn example from Selling Sunset, right? Like she thought she found the perfect guy, right? And like
Was
he's
her
rich,
guy
but
her?
turns out
Was
he's
he
a
rich?
psychopath.
Oh, I
Oh
did
yeah, he
not
was
know he
rich,
was
right?
rich. Ah.
And she left the show. I mean, I don't know if she left because she was married, but she left the show. I hope she comes back, right? I thought I loved her on Selling Sunset, but that's an example of like she I think she wrote in her book like I manifested him, and it seemed like she was getting this fairy tale. Like I think he's rich from like tech or something. Turns out behind the scenes he was like a literal psycho, right? Like locking her in
Ugh.
the house. I'm not saying that's always going to happen, but usually when you go for guys just for money, a lot of times that
Yeah.
happens, and then you have nothing. Like that this is like a big problem where women can't leave relationships because they're financially dependent on the guy. So I
Yeah.
always say keep your own stuff, even if you just have social media, even if like you're an influencer, like do something so you know, like I can have money coming in. Like why not be with a provider, be with a guy who has money, but why not also have your own money? Because money for women is safety. Money for women is protection. Like, I just think it's a fantasy that there is these guys out there that are just like, here is all of my money with no constraints and no conditions. I'm like, I
Yeah.
really, truly just want you to like live that soft girl life all day long. Like, I need those women to send me 24 hours of their day so I can see how the
Mhm.
guy's actually talking to them and treating them behind closed doors.
Yeah, no, I love that. And you nailed it, because I always say have your own money, have your own bank account, your own interests, because if something goes wrong, you can get the hell out. You're not in somebody else's hands.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think all these girls need to rethink this idea of like literally focusing on finding a guy, you know, that's gonna pay all their bills, because it can definitely backfire. Another one that I got a lot of backlash for this one. I can't wait to hear your opinion. You go on a date with someone on paper, like he fits all the boxes: good looking, successful, nice, seems to be well educated, well dressed, la 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 la. So he picks a nice restaurant. You guys are sitting there on a first date, and he's just rude, like he has no manners, and it happens all the time. Like either he's rude at the waiting staff, or like in this case the dude was like literally chewing gum, and he got the gum and like he glued the gum to on the plate. And I wish you guys saw Nicole's face if you're listening to the audio episode. And when the waiter came to move the plate away, he was like, no, 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 leave the plate on the table. So like he was eating and the gum was like stuck on the plate. And that's all I could think about. I know. I'm like, oh my God, this guy has no manners. And I kept thinking, like, I don't want to go on another date with this guy, because I couldn't, you know, think of the idea of putting up with his lack of manners. And I did a video about it, and really funny video. And a lot of people agree with me, but a lot of people, guys and girls, send me these messages like, oh, you're being like too tough on the guy. You could like mention it. Manners is something people change. It shouldn't be a deal breaker. You know, poor guy. Maybe in his culture it's okay. I don't know. To me, like if you don't know how to behave in public, it's a big turnoff. What would you say about that situation?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, also like, okay, for you, you're somebody that's going to events a lot. You're going to like galas. You're going to things where manners really matter. And unfortunately, people when they see your partner, they make up stuff about you. Like they do treat your partner as an extension of you, right? And so for somebody like you, that's just not going to work, right? Can things change? Yes, but the older people are, the tendencies are more fixed. So it depends. If we're talking about like a 55-year-old man, he's probably going to be like, this is how I am, like take me or leave me, right? So it depends on
Yes.
the age. But I think this is where people have to say, like, what's really important to me, because everybody has different deal breakers, right? And nobody should be telling anybody else, like, you should just sweep that under the rug, like that, because it might be important to you. Like I said, for you, that's important. You need a man who, when you go to events, when you go to things, you don't have to worry about being embarrassed, because that's going to negatively impact you. If you're embarrassed by him, it's going to take away from your ability to shine. So for you, I can absolutely see that. For somebody else who's like, I don't care, like we don't go out that much, maybe they won't care. But don't tell somebody else that they need to not have their own qualities and their own criteria just because it doesn't matter to you.
Yeah, but also, Nicole, this is my take on it, and tell me if you think I'm exaggerating. I don't want to be teaching grown-ass men like the basics at this point, you know, and maybe it's a little mean, but that's just how I feel. I'm like, I don't want to be having to teach a dude like, you don't do this at a restaurant, you know, don't show up chewing gum and spit the gum on the plate, or whatever it is that they do wrong. I don't want to be their mother. I want a grown-ass man that behaves like a man. If they have to be taught something or change their behavior from the get-go, I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this project. Do you agree, or you think it's too harsh?
Yeah. Also, like if it's like, okay, so if it's the gum thing, and then like when he's out with friends, he says things that are embarrassing. Like it's like, if it's like a just overall pattern of how he is, if it's one little thing, but it's rarely one little thing, that's the problem. Like usually these tendencies, they're across the board in a lot of different areas. It's kind of like if somebody's a messy person, right? They're not just like messy
Yeah.
in one room of the house, they're messy everywhere. So if the quality is he's really careless, he doesn't pay attention to things around him, he doesn't have manners in all the situations, then you are absolutely okay to say, like, I don't want this, right? So it depends.
Yeah.
Is if it's one little thing, yeah, you can bring it up.
Yeah, so it's like the guy that doesn't know how to drink in public. I don't know if you watched that show already, because it just premiered season. I don't know what season. I think it's season 2. Selling the OC. It's kind of like Selling
In the
Sunset,
second
but
one,
in
yeah.
the OC. Yeah. So there's this really pretty girl, you know, Alex. She's a
Mhm.
very Alex Hall. She's a very successful real estate agent, And she finally starts dating some dude that I think her mom introduced to her. I don't know. And he seems really nice on paper, but they go to where you are. They were in Palm Springs for a weekend because it was the birthday of one of her coworkers. So she brings this guy that she's dating within a group of coworkers. They're having a birthday dinner, and this dude is drunk as a skunk, and he's being belligerent, like interrupting everyone, like totally misbehaving. She's like, stop it, don't talk anymore, like shut up. And I was cringing because I was thinking, like, I've been that woman, like worrying about the dude's behavior. And finally she got out of the table. She's like, oh, I gotta take him to bed, like he drank too much. And I'm thinking, like, who the hell wants to be with a date that doesn't know how to behave in front of your friends or coworkers? That's just a no-no, right?
No. Like, then again, the problem is that people then, like, they think bad about you because they're like, why are you choosing somebody like that? And she's in the reputation business, right? Like, so somebody like that, A, who's on a TV show, but B, like, everything is her reputation. They're going to think bad about her. Like, when somebody has a really bad boyfriend like that, people start, like, you can't help it. You're like, what's wrong with her? I'm not saying there is something wrong with her, but that's how people start to think, because you look at somebody like Alex Holland, it's like, she's beautiful, she's successful, she could have anybody, is how people think. So if you're choosing somebody that acts terribly, unfortunately, they're not going to be like, it's him. Like, how the brain works, they're going to be like, what's wrong with her? It's the same thing that's happening on Selling Sunset with Emma, who's dating, I don't know what his name is, but it's become this whole thing where it's like, why are you dating a man-child, right? And it could affect her reputation. And she had a great reputation before this came out. Nobody really had anything like negative to say about Emma, right? I'm not saying she's bad at all, but now all of a sudden it's like, why is she dating him? What's wrong with her? And it's become this whole thing, all because she chose a guy who doesn't act right a lot of the time.
No, he puts his foot on his mouth all the time. And I think, like you said, if you're dating that person and they're embarrassing themselves in public or saying shit they're not supposed to be saying, it spills on you. It's just horrible. And I think as adults, and it happened to me, it happened last year, we talked about it, we did an episode about it. I was dating this dude, I think he was a narcissist, I don't know, the one that bought the candle for Christmas, remember? He bought himself a Lamborghini. We did a skit about that as well. And pretty much every single person that watched that video agree. Like, the guy is like a total narcissist psycho. But same thing, like every place I took him to introduce to my friends or something, he would drink too much, flirt with all the women in front of me, embarrass me in front of my friends. And then I'm like, why am I putting up with this shit? No woman deserves that kind of behavior in public.
No, not at all. Not even behind closed doors, but especially not in public. Especially if you're a public-facing person.
Exactly, guys, behave. Yeah. Especially if you're with someone in their environment. I hope Emma's not dating that douche anymore, because I think, he says a lot of horrible shit.
I think she's still dating him. Like, I don't know.
Oh,
yeah. I think she really likes him, you know?
Yeah, oh well. I think she lost a friendship with 𝐼𝐶.
Yeah.
Because of that, right? Because he said some nasty shit. Anyway, guys, if you didn't watch the show, go watch the show, because I don't want to give it up here. Another issue that is always very controversial. You go, and I know this is a very personal thing, right? And I think you said on a previous episode that you don't think there's a rule for that. When to have sex with someone.
Yeah.
So here is this scenario. You go on 1, 2, 3 dates with a guy, and you don't feel ready, but he feels ready. So in the short video that we did was like, the girl and the guy are going to do a movie night at the girl's house on the 4th date. So they start watching the movie, and the guy try to jump her bones, and she's like, well, hang in there. I'm not ready for this much. Let me explain to you how I feel. And the guy gets pissed, like, I don't want to talk about it. If we're not gonna kiss, we're not gonna do any of it. He gets like an immature teenager that didn't get what he wanted. Major red flag, correct?
Absolutely, yes. Especially like now, it's so easy for guys to get sex if they want to, right? So it's like he doesn't need to pressure you. But the thing is that he's not. In a relationship, if he's not respecting your feelings, it's just about what he wants. He's always going to be that way. He's always going to bulldoze you, right? And so that's a huge red flag, especially if you explained your feelings. Like, you didn't make him feel bad. Like, oh, it's about him. You didn't make him feel unwanted. That is a huge red flag. It represents somebody who doesn't actually really care about you. They just have their own agenda.
Yeah, I think that, and same, a lot of people said, oh, why did you invite the guy to your house? Because when a guy comes to your house for movie night, they expect they're going to have sex. And I was like, really? Why should they expect to have sex? If the girl is ready, she's ready. But can't you guys make out and not have sex?
So that would be like women saying, why did you invite your girlfriend to the mall? She expected that you were going to pay for every item and take her on a shopping spree. People would be like, that's crazy. Why would she expect like that? Like this no. If a man cannot control himself on the fourth date, the issue is with him. Women should not have to tiptoe around men's expectations like that, because he's not entitled to your body.
Yeah, no. And I think if he got pissed is a clear sign that all he was interested in was having sex, not building a relationship, right?
Absolutely.
Now, a lot of girls, at least here in LA, and the reason why I know that is because I have a lot of besties who are men. A lot of girls do have sex on the first date, the second date. They just go for it very quickly. I have one of my besties is a guy, very successful, good looking, lives here in Beverly Hills. Every time he takes a girl on a date, and we laugh about it, he's like, either he has sex with her, or at the very least they make out in the car. They do a lot of stuff in the car the first time. But this is what I tell girls. Obviously, do whatever you want. But I think women should know that most single men, that's how they behave. So, like, if you go on a first date with a guy and you're giving him a lot on the first date, very likely he's going to be doing the same thing with a different girl a few days from now, because this is the behavior of most single men. Do you agree, or you think I'm just being too conservative?
I mean, I think they're going to try, right? Like, I think most men are going to try as far as you're willing to go. So like, you have to put the boundary up. Like, most men, like, think about it. If you start to make out with them, if you start to give them a hand job, like, they're not going to be like, oh, let me stop. Like, most men are not going to stop. They're going to take it as far as they want to go. So like, women do have to set the boundaries a lot of the time and then see. But like, also like your friend, right? Like, it sounds like he's clearly in that mode where like that's what he's wanting. Like, he's happy to just go out with different women. You know, does he want a real relationship?
Yes, because that's the thing. A lot of single guys, they say, I want a relationship, but until I find that person, they're dating, they're doing stuff, and they're gonna go for it. So this is what I say, as for the girls, as long as you know, like, the guy takes you out on one nice dinner and you're making out in his car, very likely 2 days from now, 3 days from now, he's going to be doing the same thing with another one until you figure out. This is why, for me, I usually don't do too much on a first date. Normally, I don't even kiss on a first date, but this is why I take my time, because I see the behavior of my single guys.
It's really what you can handle too, right? So like, if it's going to emotionally hurt you, like if you went on a date with a guy and you slept with him and then you find out 2 days later he's sleeping with someone else, if you know that's going to emotionally hurt you, like, don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, protect your own feelings. But yeah, when people are single, they can kind of do whatever they want. You know, that's the rules of the game.
Yeah, I agree. So speaking of rules, do you think there should be a rule in terms of like, for a woman, when should I sleep with this guy, or just go with the flow and do whatever feel like organically? Different women have different choices.
I think you should only sleep with him if you're not going to freak out if he doesn't call you back, right? If you were like going to be emotionally okay. Like, it's really about you. Like, I always say, like, I slept with my husband on the third date, right? Like, but I knew I wasn't going to be like crying if I didn't like, if he, I wasn't going to make it about my worth, right? Like, a lot of women, they'll like sleep with a guy, or they'll, you know, make out with a guy, and then like what he does after, they make it about their worth. Like, I wasn't good enough or whatever. You can't like do that. If you can't separate his actions from your worth, like, don't sleep with him until you know he's more invested and there's less of a chance of him pulling back. But if you're someone who is more free, right? Or you're like, okay, I can go here and kiss this guy, I can sleep with this guy, and like it's not really going to affect your self-esteem, then like do it, right? Like, of course, do it safely. But I think some women can't. Some women really have to know he's more invested before they can open up.
Yeah, totally. I completely agree with you. Now, before I let you go, I always like to mention, because I know there's so many people out there, and that's another trend that I don't like. I've been seeing a lot lately. A lot of girls, even young girls, saying like, oh, I'm never going to be loved. I'm never going to find the love of my life. I'm going to give up. Yeah. Like there was this girl, I think she's 23, 24. She wrote a book. Yeah, I know. People magazine did an article about her because she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be single forever. It's too hard finding it." And I'm like, "You can give up on love. I mean, you gotta keep going." Any words of encouragement, and I love sharing with people for those of the audience that doesn't know you. You met your husband on a dating app, and you guys are super happily married. You met him on Tinder. So there is hope on dating apps. There are nice people on dating apps.
Yeah, there are. You have to wade through a lot, but there are. But like, if you're 23, I mean, to me, that's like very attention seeking. Like, I think she got what she wanted. She got the people, you know, she got on People magazine. Like that, there's no reason for you when you're that young. You don't even have enough life experience. Like, I can understand when people have been through like 3 divorces, or like when you've been through a lot of bad relationships, like that person probably doesn't even really realize what real heartbreak is. Like, go through a narcissist, go through a divorce, go through like him like lying and having a second family, like go through those things, and then you're gonna like see what real heartbreak is. But on the flip side, the younger people, like their social media, there's all these options. People are actually having real emotional challenges connecting. Like, so I can see what they're saying from that aspect, but somebody who's young has to understand that, like, how you talk to yourself, what you see as possible for yourself, what you're saying to yourself is really determining so much of what you're going to receive. You can't control the dating world necessarily, but why not just choose positivity and hope because it feels better? You know what I mean? Like,
I love that. Yes. So, look, I'm one of those. I've been through divorce. I've been through hell, high water, the narcissist, the cheater, the la la la. And I'm an eternal believer in love. I always say that. Don't give up on finding love, any age, I think, for that matter. Yeah. Because you never know. Like, the right person for you could be out there trying to find you.
Yeah, you're never going to find them if you're like, I've worked with a lot of clients who are like in their 60s or in their late 50s. And for years, they've been telling themselves like, it's not working. And they make it really hard on themselves. It is better to be open and optimistic, even though you're opening yourself up to hurt, than to be like so shut down that nothing good can come in. Like, there's always a possibility of being really surprised by somebody good. And I would hate for like anybody to really give up on that, because at the end of the day, like, love is like this thing where one day they're not there and then the next day they could be there. Like, it's
all of a sudden
cool, right?
Yeah, totally. So for those of you guys who don't know Nicole, follow her on Instagram, please. Nicole Moore Love, which I love, and they can reach out to you directly, right? If you do coaching sessions, if they want to speak with you directly, right?
They can reach out. They can message me. I also have a new membership called Secure Woman Club.
What is that? What is that?
So that is, right now it's only $7 too. So it's like a latte. But I created this AI love coach called Lovey, and she's trained on all of my real coaching sessions. So it's not like ChatGPT. It's like literally all of my coaching, and you can ask her for support. And there's like secure woman responses. There's what to text. There's literally like, there's modules on communication, on money too. So women don't go through that where they're in the relationship and they don't have money. And it's like my way of, if you want help in your love life, if you want to be secure, if you want to not be anxious, but maybe you don't have the budget for coaching, I got you. It's like literally
there you go. Oh my God. I'm gonna jump in. So guys, there you go. Everybody can spend $7. And I mean, your advice is always on point. I love your energy. Thank you so much for helping us. And let's not give up on love.
Never do that.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Nicole. Happy holidays in case I don't speak with you again before next year. And I hope you come back very soon.
Yes.
Guys, be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.